I am fresh home, and got my cat here because Shadow hasn't seen me all day. So I just watched Rogue One, and I have to say, if you haven't seen it, it is for Star Wars fans. Now, one second here. I'm an admitted Star Wars geek. I've got the Star Wars guide or guide to the Star Wars universe, which is old. This is before the prequels. And these are a package of four that I picked up a few years ago before Force Awakens came along and wiped out the original storyline. So these four books tell an amazing storyline that no longer exists. Where basically Han and Leia's daughter becomes a Sith Lord. And Luke's son is the one who's going to have to fight her. Well, whatever. Um, that movie that I watched tonight was fantastic. Um, now, people are going to ask, well, where does it stand in the Star Wars universe? Does it just do fan service? I don't think so. Um, I thought it was entertaining. I thought that it did a lot of things that I really wish Lucas had done. This was a movie that introduces you to characters and it's not afraid to kill them off. I'm not gonna talk about spoilers because I don't do that. So there's no spoilers in this, and if spoilers are posted in the comments, I'm gonna delete them. I won't do a spoiler review until a few weeks after it's out or a month after it's out, and I'm sure people are gonna go, well, come on, it's before New Hope, so what's the spoilers? Well, the spoilers would be who lives and who dies. That'd be the spoilers. I'm not going to get into that. I apologized to Yvonne before we went to see this. I said I'm gonna come out of this with a crush on the girl from the movie, and yeah, I do. Yeah, it's standard. Um, if you're concerned that this girl is going to be like Rey in New Hope, or not New Hope, Force Awakens. I really enjoyed Rey in Force Awakens. I think Force Awakens is a fantastic movie. I think it's, I mean, this is a Force Awakens shirt. I thought it was really well done. I really enjoyed it. I don't think that Jyn Erso, the girl in this movie, has any bearing on things the way Rey does. She plays a key role, yes. She's not the leader. She doesn't call the shots. She has one rousing speech in the movie that, yeah, I could see guys rolling their eyes out. Oh, there goes that feminist Nazi crap being thrown into movies. But honestly, it's no different than any speech that Leia gives in any of the movies. I mean, in the original trilogy, Leia gives speeches during all three movies, so it's not really anything she doesn't do. And not only that, but Jyn is a good character, and she's not perfect. So anybody who thinks, oh, it's another Mary Sue or whatever she's called, no, no. And there really wasn't a perfect character in this movie. I think that the best character in this movie might have been K2SO, the the droid. He had the best lines. He was entertaining. He was funny. But if people are saying, "Oh, there's probably going to be a lot of Easter eggs," there are. I mean, the part that I don't understand is people complain that, oh, it caters to people who are looking for all these throwbacks, and it's catering to that crowd. Um, the the movie avoids. Okay, I never saw Millennium Falcon. I never saw Han Solo. There's no Luke babies. There's none of that stuff going on. Um, they did CGI in three different characters. They had to. Um, I'm not going to give away the other two, but I will say Grand Moff Tarkin's in this. The CGI on him is fantastic. It is Peter Cushing's face. It is the same thing that they did in Tron Legacy with Jeff Bridges. The difference is this time it doesn't look off. When Jeff Bridges is in Tron Legacy and you see him with the clean shaven young face, it seems off. And you're watching, you're going, that's impressive, but off. And it's okay later on in the movie when it's Clue. When it's Clue later on, so it's not really him, you're like, that's okay, that's fine. At least I felt that way. Another would be other fans who say, oh, I don't like that. It doesn't look great. Tarkin looked good. There were a couple of little things in there that I went, that looks CGI, but it's really hard to get all of the face perfectly correct in every single frame, so they get a pass on that. The other two CGI parts, I thought one was really weird looking, because to me it looked like the actor's face had been put over a face that didn't fit. It's not the same sized face. So, and again, I'm not spoiling it. It was fine. I didn't mind, but it was kind of weird. But I did like how they put everything together. And to me, the Death Star in this movie, and I'm not giving anything away there either. It's in the trailer, right? The Death Star seemed more menacing in this. The Death Star seemed way more menacing in this. And when it's tested, it just seems so much more sinister. And I know we watch a planet blow up in Star Wars New Hope, spoiler alert, but that's just seemed like boom, like your planet blew up, ooh, and we never saw the people of Alderaan, so we never felt anything. We never, I mean, Obi-Wan did, millions of voices, credit and terror, and we're suddenly silenced, but we didn't see any of that. George Lucas was working with a very limited amount of money, so he couldn't show us what happened on Alderaan. And in this movie, they show us how that would be to see that giant ball in the sky and watch it fire down upon where you're at. It genuinely seemed more terrifying. So in general, I think it worked as fan service, and it's there. And I'm not gonna lie, like the original Star Wars movies made a lot of money. I'm not sure. I'm not sure why in other movies when they do callbacks, whether it's Jurassic Park does a callback or an Aliens movie does a callback, it's okay. But when Star Wars does it, everybody throws their arms in the air and says, "Oh, it's all shit." I'm not sure why that is, but I didn't see a lot of it in this movie. I saw some like I said, some cameos, some moments that were kind of cute. But the nice thing that this does is it means that if somebody hasn't seen the original trilogy, this is honestly a really good movie to show them, to introduce them to the characters of the original trilogy. Like, I know there's people who grow up thinking that the prequels are good. Those people are wrong, but they grow up thinking that, and that's important that they think they're good. They're terrible movies. They're awful. But as bad as they are, and they're bad, some people like them, and that's what you can like bad movies. I won't get mad at you for that. I think Killer Clowns from Outer Space is fantastic, so I'm fine with it. It's a much better movie than the prequels. It really is. It makes sense. But this movie was very good to sort of mix, here's where we were, here's where we're going, and it was fantastic. I think Mustafar's in this. They didn't actually show it on the screen that they were on Mustafar, but sure looked like Mustafar to me. And there were a lot of new planets brought in, a lot of new characters, a couple new alien races that I thought were kind of cool. There were also a couple of background characters you've seen in Star Wars or some Empire or some other, and in this they're thrust right to the front. Like here's what that race is, here's what that character is. Fantastic. Really, really fantastic. I know people are going to complain. I know people are going to say, "Oh, it's just all for nostalgia. It adds nothing." That argument is going to be out there. I think they're wrong. I think what this movie did was it brought the gritty realism of what the rebels were. Like, in Return of the Jedi, many Bothan spies died to bring us this information, and there's silence for like a second and a half, and then you go back to Leia and Han, and then you start joking around right away. There's no gravity to what has happened. You don't see who has died for any of this. Lucas glazes over everything, and he did that with the prequels too. All of the interesting story stuff that Anakin and Obi-Wan talk about in the original trilogy, you never see any of it on screen. Remember you falling into a nest of Gundarks? Well, I remember I saved you from that nest of Gundarks. And I'm thinking, you could have showed us that, couldn't you? Nah. Good. You only had $11 billion to make the movie. So whatever you do, make sure you show as many lightsabers battles as possible. Don't show us the actual interesting stuff that you're talking about as backstory. And, there's little things like that. Like when Anakin loses his shit and in Attack of the Clones, and he wipes out the whole tribe of of Tusken Raiders, Sand People. You could really have fleshed that out and got rid of a lot of the Anakin Padme crap. And what this movie does is, because Lucas didn't make it, Lucas had nothing to do with it, it takes all the sentiment out, puts in brand new characters, makes you care about some of them. Not all of them. Some of them are kind of stock and not greatly interesting. But it tries. And it introduces all these characters, puts them all together, and it shows how the rebellion worked in the beginning. And how the rebellion was starting to coalesce into something bigger. And that's I think that's an important story to tell, because the universe that Lucas created was very sterile, very emotionless. If you really think about it, if you take all of your memberberry feelings about it out, it's kind of a cold paint by numbers series, both the original trilogy and the prequels. This movie takes that and goes, okay, we're going to make you care about these people, and then we're going to kill some people off. And you're not going to have a clue who lives in this movie and who dies, because while we're putting in characters you know are going to be in the original trilogy, so we can't kill them off here, we're going to put in so much other stuff that you're going to say, oh, wait, right, that's so-and-so from New Hope. And I was doing that. When they had the space battle, I was like, holy crap, they got him in there. And again, I'm not spoiling anything, because there's some really cool stuff in this for fans like myself who've watched since the 80s. If you're a new fan, if you're a young fan, it's got plenty in there for you guys too. It was different. There was no battle with the Death Star. And so anybody who says, oh, it's every beat, it matches with other movies, I didn't see that at all. I really didn't see it. It drags a little bit in the middle. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It drags a little bit in the middle. You can tell that they had, here's plan A, here's we're going to get from point A to point B. Oh, we got to put something in the middle. And you could tell there was a little bit of that. It was like, well, we got to pad this out a little bit for the runtime. I think if this movie had been an hour and a half, you might have been better off. But I will also say this. We sat through 15 minutes of commercials and another 10 minutes of commercials with trailers. We were in that theater 25 minutes before the movie goddamn started. And I don't often get mad. But when you sit people down who are paying to watch a 3D movie, and between myself, Yvonne here, and the kids, I paid $60 for the tickets. I don't want to sit through 25 minutes of movies and movie commercials and trailers. I don't. I pay that money, so I don't have to. If I want to watch commercials, I'll watch TV. And I think it's getting a little bit ridiculous when you sit down in a movie and it says the movie starts at 7:50 and it actually starts at 10 minutes after 8. That's getting kind of ridiculous. It was actually a little bit after 10 minutes after 8 when it actually started. Like, this has gone too far. But I only say that because when I say it seemed to drag in the middle, that's probably part of the reason why. I've been in the theater 25 minutes longer than the person who made this movie had intended for me to be there. Directors have a movie of a certain length. Well, now they're going to have to go, well, they're going to have to sit through 25 minutes of commercials and trailers. Nobody wants to sit and watch commercials in the movie theater. Nobody. Oh, it's Christmas. Oh, another Christmas. Oh, another Christmas. I get it. Christmas is here and Santa Claus is kind of a dick. I get it. It's whatever. Because these kids all get all these Santa Claus commercials, and then Christmas comes and goes and they don't get what they want. So Santa's kind of a dick. See the movie. Maybe go in a little bit late. Maybe show up 5-10 minutes late for the movie, because you're just missing commercials anyways. If you're in Canada, I know that for sure. I don't know if you guys in the States, I don't know how bad the commercials are down there. Leave a comment down below about it. But great movie. I give it 4.5 out of 5 if I was giving it stars or lightsabers or whatever we want to use here. I would deduct a half point for it dragging in the middle. But when I buy it on DVD, or when I see it at the cheap theater, and I'm gonna watch this movie a lot. We'll see if my opinion changes when I don't have to sit through so many commercials and trailers. If I still think it drags in the middle. Anyways, thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing through. Quite a few hits on a video I did on my hockey channel yesterday. Pretty fantastic to see that happening. Really excited about that, but that doesn't mean this channel is going to get neglected by me. If anything, it inspires me to try to have the same thing happen for this channel. So thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you all again soon.